Hi guys, this is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. If you're interested in supporting the channel in that way, please look in the video description in the drop-down menu below the video on YouTube, and it'll show you how to join at Patreon to get the daily forecast a day early. There's also other readings that are available only over there every month, depending on the subscription level you choose. This is a daily forecast. This is actually the weekly. We do these on Sundays. So this is from the 14th of March through till the 20th. It's not only set for that date. If you see it on a date that's not one of those dates, that's okay. It could be it is a timeless message in the sense that the message might make sense to your life when you're seeing it versus what it's originally created for. Again, if you're watching this on a different platform, like maybe it's been shared to Facebook, please go to my Facebook or my YouTube channel and subscribe. Also read the description, the video description in the drop-down menu. It just kind of gives insight into how my readings should be used and what you need to do and know. All right, so let's get into this and see what's going on. Each card is going to represent for a day or two of the week. Some of you might experience only one of these cards. Some of you might experience all of these cards and then some. So let's see what's going on. So we're going to be transiting out of that beautiful Pisces new moon. So it should be all about creation for us coming up. And we also have Venus in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, I believe Pluto in Capricorn, and the Sun. We're still in Pisces season. So quite a bit of emotional, creative, intuitive energy going on around us. So this should make for an interesting week. Let's see what the cards are. Okay. So we have the Nine of Pentacles. I love it. So she is Miss Independence. She's giving me a little bit of Frida Kahlo vibes or Chiquita Banana vibes. But I do like her. Pentacles is the element of earth. She has everything that she needs, right? She is singular and self-sufficient. She is about completions, right? Nines can feel being complete with something. Whatever we were struggling with in the past, I feel like we're turning a corner in the beginning of this week. We're feeling a little bit more self-assured. We're feeling in abundance. We're feeling like we have everything that we need, would be the feeling that I get with this card. That there's, even if our, maybe we might want more, but what we have is enough. And so we can still want more, don't get me wrong. And we can certainly create more. That's the Pentacles nature of this card. But we feel sort of content or self-sufficient, well taken care of, that sort of a thing, right? It's all up to us though. The focus is really on us and our making sure that we sort of pick and choose which direction we go, what we create, where we're utilizing this new moon energy towards the things that we want, right? I love that she has that bird on her finger right there. So we're not, even though the responsibility falls to us, I feel like we're not necessarily alone completely. We might have our own inner voice or our own spirit guides talking to us too. Birds always usually represent sort of signs from spirit to me. So when we have this bird so close to her, it's like we are working with maybe our own higher self, our own spiritual desire in creating that with which we want more of in our material world in the beginning of the week. That would be our focus. Really believing that it's possible and that it could happen for us, or that, as we take actionable steps towards doing this, we can make things possible, right? And good for us. Wow. So then we have the Nine of Swords. Interesting that we have two nines. I'm going to read this in a different way. The Nine of Swords to me is about nightmares, sometimes things being too psychic, sometimes things being too subconscious, sometimes worries, unfounded fears, things like that. But when I look at the Nine of Pentacles leading and then the Nine of Swords in the middle, I really feel like that self-assuredness that we have in the Nine of Pentacles brings us to this Nine of Swords to help us to release any last-minute fears, worries, anxieties that we may carry with us. Right? We need to get these things out of our way so that we can move forward in a productive and abundant way. And I feel like the reason why this is here is it's calling this to our attention so that we can release these things, so that we can stop like going back to the worry, the strife, the struggle, all of that sort of stuff. Stop looking at others or other situations, trying to lay blame. Being really responsible for ourselves and our own well-being through that Nine of Pentacles requires us to have to challenge ourselves in where our thoughts and our minds may be at, right? In the midweek. As we do this, I feel like we're conquering this because nines are about completions of cycles. So some of you might be having nightmares or anxieties, whatever, but face them. Don't let them sort of control you or guide you. You need to guide yourself away from them. And I think that that Nine of Pentacles energy in the beginning of the week is going to allow you to do that. Also, this Piscean sort of transit energy is going to make us want to look at this stuff and bring it up from like the depths, so to speak, because that would definitely be Pisces energy too. Bringing up the emotional, deep-seated fears, anxieties, things from the past that no longer serve us, that we still continue to act upon, that sort of a thing. We don't necessarily need those things guiding us or leading us anymore. And I think that in the midweek, we really, hopefully, will be challenged by them in a way that we can become aware of them and then defeat them. That's sort of these blossoms that we see here. That's my feeling there, is that we're going to get rid of that, those fears or anxieties in the midweek. And then we get to the Queen of Pentacles, who we have seen quite a bit in this month. The Queen of Pentacles, she indicates sort of a calm nature, grounded, materialistic, discerning, centered, very practical. There's a fertility aspect to her, right? There's a creation aspect to her. She's able to create the things that she wants. She's definitely a step beyond that Nine of Pentacles, right? So the things that we want, we may have to address certain things in our mind or in our thoughts that might challenge us or scare us this week. But in addressing those things, we open ourselves up to this place of empowerment where our emotions, which would be the Queen, and then the material, which would be the Pentacles, come together and start working for us. We start to see the goal. We start to see whatever it is that we want and how it is we want to get there. We can make it happen. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So in facing whatever worries or anxieties we have in the midweek and that Nine of Swords, we will defeat them or no longer be challenged by them by the end of the week, because the Queen of Pentacles is sort of like that Nine of Pentacles on steroids, right? It's like we've not only done the work, but we've also come into an understanding of who we are, what we deserve, and what we want, and how we're going to go about creating it, and no longer getting in our own way. Now, the next card is Butterfly Garden. There's a lot of butterfly references in this oracle deck, which is fine because it's a sign of transformation. This is all about transforming in the month of March, and I think that has to do with this Piscean energy. There's also the new moon, which would be about creating new things, which would be a form of transformation. When I see this is 48, which would be number 12, which would be down to a 3, which would be the mind, body, and spirit. And when we're talking about that, we're bringing those 3 into alignment, right? We see the mind here in the 9. That might be the area where in the 9 of Swords, that might be the area that we need to do the most amount of work in our fears and anxieties and worries around a certain situation, person, or thing. But as we do that, or we look at it, we face it head on, and we're brave about it, we arrive at this Queen of Pentacles, which puts us in that state of feeling safe in our bodies, safe in our ability to create, safe in our emotions, safe in our mind, grounded and centered and ready to move forward. Butterfly Garden, I love that this is about, not only is our gardens fruitful and beautiful, but the butterfly sitting on her head is like, where are our dreams of transformation at, right? To me, this almost feels like, when I look at this, it's like her daydreaming about, ooh, who do I want to be in the next, year? Or where do I want to go? How do I want it to turn out? Right? And she's looking at it with hopeful eyes, with no fear, with no worry, with no sort of trepidation or concern, other than the fact that the thoughts or the beliefs that formulate in her mind are really what help to transform her space. And so doing that work will help bring about the transformation she seeks, right? Now, 48, which would be 12, would be mind, body, spirit. So that's also coming in alignment with who we are and what we are, and believing in ourselves, supporting ourselves at all 3 different levels, and not giving any one sort of aspect of ourselves a little bit more credence, right? And we can give credence in both positive and negative ways. So like if we're allowing our fears and anxieties to run away from us, we're giving more space to the mind aspect of the mind, body, spirit connection in a negative way. But if we're overthinking things and, trying to like sort of control things mentally, we could be doing that. Even though it sort of seems positive, it's not necessarily helping us. So I feel like this is about getting into the dream, getting into the beauty of it all, getting into the excitement of it all, and allowing it to transform you and set you up to begin that phase of change. Butterfly Garden is curiosity, discovery, small moments in life. A woman holds a blooming flower in her hand as she gazes towards the sky. On her head sits a butterfly closely examining the purple petals. Enjoying the situation, the woman stands still and quietly soaks in her surroundings. She does not want to disturb the scene. In our daily life, there are so many possible moments that could be precious, if we would just take the time to notice them. Be mindful of your surroundings and pay attention. Ask, why is that there? Then make connections. Small observations can lead to great discoveries. And I think that those observations are made in the midweek in that Nine of Swords. They might be a little bit scary. They may not even be all of that small, but those observations lead us to Queen of Pentacles and towards this transformation that we see in the Butterfly Garden card. Now let's go to the grounding stone. This is the grounding stone for the week. Okay. And we should be grounding in this form of love. Love of self first and foremost, guys. Keeping that as our focus, protection of ourselves, loving ourselves at the mind, body, and spirit level, being conscious of that, and actually pursuing that today, this week. Right? When we have that love for ourselves, then we can easily bestow it upon others and share it with others. And so that focus should be our, what we ground in this week, is to give ourselves that love, give ourselves the opportunity for that possibility, challenge ourselves in a way of facing the things that may scare us or unnerve us or upset us, but don't let that upset overwhelm us. Stay in that state of love and do this for yourself. Does that make sense? That is your forecast for the week. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys this week as we watch this build. It should be a powerful and beautiful week. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. All right, have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.